Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy hump day. Hope you guys are all having a great day. Probably a little bit better day today than you were having yesterday, seeing everything drop. So, yesterday, when we see that huge drop, we see some of our positions become negative or all of our positions coming negative. That is the stress, the psychological, sometimes manifesting into physical stress that we go through as traders, and that's why we make money. That is part of your payment. Yes, we pay commissions. Yes, we put our money on the line, but just having stress of big down days, that's a reason at the end. If you can endure that, get through that, that's how and why we make money. We don't want to do anything stupid, but at the same time, we have to weather that stuff. So as to whether Elon has sold his shares, there was huge volume yesterday. It very well could have been. I expected that it would be done in tranches, like just not all during one day, but he's also a pretty decisive guy, so that could have happened. Possibly. He does have to file with the SEC within 2 days. So if we see that report that he has already sold his shares, then we know the downside is done. And I would expect more than what we just saw, like a 30, 40, well, actually, I guess we were 60, almost $70 to the upside because we did dip down below 1,000 there. And my expectation was if we touched 1,000, we would see a rip up. I think that's a huge mental level, and there's a lot of people wanting to grab shares on there. And then you see the upside, and then people are like, "Uh-oh, better grab to the upside." It's funny. I was looking yesterday. There was plenty of people buying puts yesterday, like towards the close, to protect themselves from the downside. And if there is one thing that I have learned, being short Tesla just doesn't pay off in the long run. Maybe short term sometimes, but that's the downside is not nearly as scary as the upside to me, and kind of missing out on that. So I did pick up another share. Picked up another share this morning, just one. And then also in some of my other accounts, I picked up some shares as well, just selling off some stuff that I didn't necessarily want. Some things that really haven't moved too much. Some like just 3M and Johnson and Johnson. I sold off I think 10 or 12 positions or something like that, and then switching that all into Tesla. So in a few other accounts, I've bought about 10 shares, 10, 11 shares, something like that. So today, I don't know what to expect for the rest of the day. Like just with the this kind of deal we see like the down open up, comes up a little bit, and then seems to sell off, and then same thing kind of here. So it's definitely a possibility that we don't hold up here at all. But again, I don't know what to expect. If we see that SEC report, I expect major movement to the upside. 1,100 is kind of a round number psychologically, but I've never seen any resistance or support. Maybe around 1130 on a couple times I did some charting, but we don't have a lot to chart in these ranges. So yesterday we ended up down about $75,000 all in all, and we can see where we're at now. We're about, compared to our all-time highs, we were up at 357, so we are about $80,000 down from those all-time highs, but expect bigger upsides in the long term because we've picked up on Tesla alone. I think during this whole thing, let's see, what was I sitting at? I was sitting at like I don't think I even had 220, maybe 212 or something like that. So I've picked up quite a few shares while we've had not only these up days but down days. My last one, if we can get through all this stuff here, my last few I picked up at 1,011 right before close yesterday, 1,022, and sometime during the day yesterday, 1,024. So we've picked up a few more shares there. On our small accounts, so we can take a peek at those. Well, actually, the other few positions that I have opened up, I picked up yesterday. I opened up some 880 put credit spreads, 875s. We got $60 on average for those. We were down a little bit on those for a little bit, and then the following week we picked up 7 880 875s. We've rolled out almost all of our 1100s, 1050s, all that kind of thing. I did keep on the 1050s expiring 1012 just to be in lockstep with the smaller accounts on this one. So we do have 5 of them there. These are $10 wide though. So we'll be keeping these and look to manage them about 3 weeks out. So beginning of December, or I guess very end of November, is when we'll look to roll those guys out. And other than that, I don't think I will open up anything new today. We'll just unless we see some major downside, then there is some potential for rolling things out, but we'd have to come back down $50-$60 or something like that. And just keep in mind, just as fast as Tesla can come down $50-$60, it can go up $50-$60. And this is one of the key reasons that that we don't want to open them up typically, like just with Friday expiration, opening them up during that week. Because if you had done that like Monday or Friday, just expiring the next week, and you had 11 somethings, you'd have just been completely clapped on those. So and that's one of the reasons I was able to roll out everything and grab credits for that for the most part. So looks like Tesla might be still moving to the upside here. 1075. I guess we'll wait and see some news, but everything fundamentally with the company has stayed the same or gotten better. All the news that has come out, production and delivery in China has been great. The semis, those have been great. Everything, Tesla Energy, that's a whole nother topic we can talk about at some point, but that's been super positive. Everything is super positive with it. So I think anywhere, again, that you end up buying some shares is super positive. Not necessarily for next week, but for 2 years, 5 years, 3 years, whatever the term of holding that you want is. Like this $1,000 is going to seem like an absolute bargain when you look back at 2025, 2030. Seems like a long time, especially for those who have only lived, like if you're 20 years old, that's could be a quarter of your life. So it seems like a long time off, but at some point, somebody bought Google, somebody bought Amazon super cheap, and we're not in the super cheap range, but I think still a bargain. So let's jump in and take a look at where we're at on the small accounts, even though we are not making any moves. So not much to look at or see at here. We can just see what the profit and loss is short term. So here is our $600 account, 1050, and we can just see we are we're up 184 today. This is which account is this? This must be this is the IRA. Yep, this is the IRA. So down $500 all in all in total. And on the $600 account, we're down $132 total, but these are all short term. If you can't stomach it, like maybe this isn't for you, just take a good inventory. I'm glad we had this kind of back update, and it's actually, if anybody's going to follow along with these plays, having that initial like, oh crap, did I just do the wrong thing? Terrible, terrible entry, and getting a little bit of that uh-oh feeling to the downside. I think that's a good thing long term. You have to get used to those. If you're not able to deal with them and let things ride out, play out, calmly adjust things, then again, this might not be for you. The other thing is, in reality, if I wasn't posting these knowing other people were following it, I probably would have just kept my original positions. But a little bit of weight on my shoulders knowing some people are following it, and that's the reason I rolled them out, just to make sure 100% we don't blow up these accounts or anything really bad happens. I have full confidence. I've been through huge dips before, came out the other side much better than we were going into them. So we'll have the pullbacks, and then we'll have great success on the other side. And if we're not a little bit aggressive with our plays, not crazy, but collecting a decent amount of premium with our collateral, the growth is just going to take forever. Obviously, this big dip slowed us down a little bit, but again, we have a bit of bounce up today, and when we do see the reaction to Elon has sold his shares and that's all done, we're gonna see even more upside than we saw today. I'm fairly confident in that. Yeah, so there you go. Hopefully you guys survived yesterday, didn't have too much of a upset stomach or feel too much regret yesterday at all. We'll just wait and see what Tesla does. We're at the 1070 level, so we're not we don't have anything in the money. Let's hope it keeps that way. And basically, as it just decays now, now we do have a month given, and so it's going to be a little bit longer, but that's all right. We'll just keep going with it, and we may, depending on when we find out that Elon has actually sold his shares, we may roll those up a little bit. So, all right, guys, love you. Hope you guys having a great day. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll do my best to answer. Yesterday was a little bit overwhelming, just with managing everything, and then I was planning on doing the live stream when I got home, but I did have work to catch up on, since I spent most of the day just like managing positions and purchasing shares, didn't get around to that. So if nothing else, I guess we'll see you Friday or Saturday for sure for a live stream. So anyways, love you guys, and we'll talk to you later. Let's make a lot of money.